Okay, let's see what we're gonna pick today. Let's see what we got here. And this guy. This is a Davidoff Escurio, if I'm saying that right. Davidoff Escurio. Let's give this guy a cut and a light and see where it takes us. Well, hello, folks. I am happy that you're here with us today. We're going to be doing a review of the Davidoff Escurio Corona Gorda. Of course, this is Simply Being Shipley, the Cigar and Pipe channel, your unconventional guide to cigar and pipe culture, a real channel for real enthusiasts. Okay, let's get into this review. Now, this, of course, is made by Davidoff of Geneva. And let's go a little bit into the construction. As you can see from this picture, the wrapper is going to be Ecuadorian. The binder is a Brazil seco. And then you have all of the filler there. It's all Dominican and Brazilian. The experience, and I'm reading over here on the right side of the screen, the experience the Davidoff Escurio Corona Gorda cigar, the longest format in this series. This is their tallest cigar. All of this here, by the way, comes right off of the Davidoff website. I'm going to show you what they say, and then we'll go over my experience, which is a little bit different. Now, this guy here, flavoring at the bottom, tells us Escurio cigars with their notes of pepper, chocolate, licorice, and coffee are best paired with sweet and spicy cocktails. Let's go on to the next screen. Here's the sizes. So we're doing the Corona Gorda, which is your 6x46. You have the other sizes. They have surprisingly short cigars in this series, which is, I guess, great if you're looking for a lunchtime smoke or something that you don't need a lot of time with. We have 5 different sizes here. We go over the blend again and then the package. Now, this is my observation. The wrapper had a very consistent color and texture. I was surprised, though, about the amount of visible seams and veins. At this level of a cigar, I just am used to a different appearance. Now, it doesn't say anything about the quality of the construction because it held up great during the entire smoking process. Had no issues. There's no problems with the burn or anything else. So, well made, just visually not what I would expect for a cigar that cost this much. Okay, review. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome out for another review. This is the cigar that we're going to be reviewing, the Davidoff Escurio Gorda Corona. Right from the beginning here, you can see that the construction is extremely good. But as I rotate this cigar around, you'll notice that there is a lot of veins and seams that are visible, fairly well pronounced. At the cost of the cigar, the price that I paid for it, you would expect a little bit better finishing of the wrapper. But overall, as you'll see through this video, the cigar held up extremely well. I just wasn't used to that many veins and seams being visible. Now, on the cold draw, I'm getting some leather and some very sweet almond flavor. One thing I do want to just kind of give you a preview of is how this cigar was advertised for tasting was nothing like what I personally got from it. I don't know if you or others agree with me or not, but all I can do is tell you exactly what I experienced so that you can make your judgment from there. Now, once I I lit it, the almond faded, at least that kind of bittery back taste that you get with nut flavors, that faded away, and just the buttery leather continued on, even throughout the retro helling of the cigar. I got exactly the same flavors as regular excelling. Now, I am recording this a wee bit early in the morning, so please bear with me if I stumble over the verbal gymnastics with this voiceover, but I will try to give you as consistent a product as possible. As this stick smoked, which smoked actually pretty fast for its size, probably due to the 46 ring, or 46 gauge on it, ring. Thinner cigars smoke faster, and they typically smoke hotter than thicker cigars. I prefer a 54 to 60, especially a 60 ring. Here's another imperfection on the bands. The bands don't line up when they come around. Now, I know I'm nitpicking, but when you're paying for an expensive cigar, you want quality all the way around. And one of the things that when I see a band that doesn't line up right, it makes me worry that the sticky pectin that they use to secure the band will also be applied very sloppy and leak onto the wrapper itself, which then causes tearing later on. That wasn't the case here. The bands came off pretty intact, just slid off, but I don't like sloppy bands. Now, as you saw from that ash there was a little inconsistency at that point, but it catches up pretty quick. This cigar required no touch-up. The burn was for the most part very, very even. So I was comfortable with that. You'll see right here, the ash is already starting to bend. And that bend, of course, is caused by that uneven burn. But it will break right there. So doesn't have a lot of strength in the ash. Broke down, what is that, about 1.5 inches in. And the second break occurs about halfway through the smoke. So didn't get the quality of ash that I would normally get from a cigar at this price point. And you'll see I keep coming back to that. Not because necessarily I'm a cheapskate, but I don't mind spending a lot of money for cigars as long as you actually get the quality that you're paying for. So that's my concern. Flavors here are consistent. Overall, not a very exciting cigar. Matter of fact, and I'll probably say this again later on when we get back to the actual material presentation ending of this video, but this cigar is just boring. I could be having oh, and by the way, take a look at that. Once that we're getting closer to the halfway point, it starts layering up the ash in that dime or nickel stacking formation that shows it's burning more consistently. The cut end stays put together extremely well. Now, what was I saying? What was I saying? Anyway, quality is a big deal to me for a particular price point. If you're having a conversation with friends or family, like I'm doing at different points of this video, it's very easy to get more wrapped up into that conversation than the cigar, and the cigar goes forgotten. I want a memorable experience from my cigars. And this one, I don't think I'm going to remember much about it after this review is done, and I'll even have to refer back to it, unfortunately. I was just overall not impacted enough by this blend. Now, I know that Davidoff is a very, very popular cigar, and I know I'm probably upsetting a lot of people, but I can just tell you what I experienced. And all the flavors that they said on the website that you get from this, I really got none of them. The smoke also is a much darker gray. I don't know the hows or whys of this, but it's not as noticeable, even though there's a lot of volume being put out, as even cigars like the Excalibur series by Hoyo de Monterrey. Now, as we start to get into the second half here, and this video, of course, is excerpts from the overall long video that I took. But as we start to approach the second half, and really when we get into the second half, the leathery, buttery taste starts to fade a little bit, and a very sweet nut, like a cashew type of nut flavor comes on, and that gets stronger as you smoke it down. The overall smoke time for this cigar, and I really start trying to draw it out to see if I can get some length out of it toward the end, but the overall smoke time for this cigar was 50 minutes. So it is for its size, it is a relatively quick smoke. Again, it's probably because of the thickness of the ring size on that cigar at 46. The burn is evened up here, as you can see there on the screen. This cigar is smoking well, pretty consistently. Literally, the only complaint I had was that it was not as exciting as I had hoped, as the marketing materials made me believe it was going to be. There's that gray smoke. Another thing that I did notice was that after the cigar, after we finish up with it, the feeling of the presence of the nicotine stayed with me a little bit longer than normal from smoking a cigar. I don't know why. I don't understand the chemical process to the degree that I can explain it or rationalize it here. But it was not nauseating. It was not too powerful. It wasn't strong. It was just there. And it hung on for longer than I normally experience. Now, as this cigar gets burnt down, when we get toward the last couple inches, it does get relatively hot, and you can't finish it all the way comfortably unless you want to be inhaling very, very hot smoke on it. Ash holds up better in the second half of the cigar than it did in the first half. You get a little bit bigger stack on it, and it hangs around with you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish this up at this point, and we'll see you in the upcoming end of this video where we get back into the paper part of it and go over some final notes and give it a rating. Again, thank you for watching, and let's get into that rating step. Now, just to recap things, before the light, and you saw most of this already in the video, but before the light, there was a general sweetness, a little bit of light leather, and mild almond observed when I did the cold draw. This is nothing like what they said the flavors would be, but everybody's taste is slightly different. Mine is apparently quite a bit different in this case. The flavors I got, of course, weren't as advertised. The beginning, as you saw in the video, gave me a buttery, light leather taste, even on the retrohale. The flavoring was consistent for the first half, then faded to the background under a sweet cashew-like flavor. Everything was super consistent, but it was not the most exciting cigar to smoke. The ash also didn't hold up as well as I had expected. It fell off at about 1.5 inches in, as you saw, and then again in the middle of the cigar. The smoke wasn't super bright. It was a darker gray in color, but it was thick. There was a good volume of smoke. Ratings and final thoughts. Now, this is just my opinion, and I know that this is a favorite cigar in many countries of the world, but I am more prone to be attracted to, like most Americans, cigars with a little bit more punch and stronger flavors. This cigar I found to be mostly boring. Its quality and build and delivery of the nicotine was good. Um, it just didn't excite me. There was nothing unique about this experience. I want to be emboldened and in love with a cigar. I don't want to be able to be distracted and not notice I'm smoking the cigar. And that's what will happen with this. You will not be distracted if you're having conversations with friends and family. You'll forget all about the cigar. Um, this is basically the Honda minivan of cigars, in my opinion. It's reliable, but not something that is memorable in and of itself. The most exciting thing about this cigar is its actual promotional material. I recommend trying this one just to better understand what the Europeans in particular find desirable in a cigar, because this meets the European profile perfectly. And they're the biggest clientele. So here are my ratings on a scale 1 to 10, of course 10 being high. The build an 8, the draw a 9, flavor a 5 just because of the lack of complexity. Smoothness a finish 7, and consistency 9. I thank you for watching this review, and I look forward to our next cigar together. I will see you next time. Leave me a comment if you agree with anything that I have said here or disagree or got different flavors. I'd love to hear back from you. And as always, please subscribe. It really helps the channel a lot. Thank you.